Hi there, my name is Andrea, and this is High Literature, a program where I introduce books and comics and art to you, the viewer. I want to say before we get started that last week I participated in the Lights Out meta, where you log out of all your meta accounts, and when I did it, I was a little nervous because, like most people, I was addicted to social media. And when you try to stop an addiction, it's hard. So when I logged out that evening, God, what was it, Monday, Sunday? I don't know. All the days are running together now. I was a little nervous, but also curious, like, how was I going to respond to this the next day when I was in my, day to day, and like, oh, let me check this and let me check. And it was really interesting discovering that I didn't miss it at all. I thought that I would just be compulsively like going to it and being like, oh crap, it's not there. Yeah. And I think that's very telling. And it makes me feel like social media is worse than drugs. I know people who have gone to rehab, gone through detox, alcoholics, junkies, meth heads, everything. And I myself have experienced, trying to quit substances, and it's hard. You have these habits, and you just, even though it's bad, even though you're literally putting poison into you, you can't help it. That's what addiction is, And the fact that I didn't miss it, that I wasn't like yearning for it and like jonesing for it, and social media is just so bad. It has its good points. It's a tool like everything else, and it's all dependent on the individual and how they use it. And with that being said, I am going to continue staying off until I figure out what it is exactly that I want from it and what it can do for me in a way that doesn't make me feel like I'm obliterating little pieces of my soul every day. So with that being said, yeah, I'm not on social media anymore, but I obviously will still be doing videos, and I think this will be a good thing. I think it'll be more motivating for me to do videos. So with that being said, moving forward, this is a very, very special book that we're doing today. I brought 3, and I'm sorry, I haven't done books in a while. I know, I'll get back to it, but in the meantime, ta-da! Life Drawing by Jaime Hernandez. How cool is this? I got an advanced copy, and I have read this quite a few times already, and the other books I got here with me. So Life Drawing, this is coming out next month, and in 2019, 2 books came out, 2 Jaime books. April of 2019, we have Is This How You See Me? And then July of 2019, we have Tonta. And for me, like, these 3 form a trilogy. They go together. These are friends. This is volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. Not, on paper, but in my brain, these go together. So I brought them all with me because they're friends. They want to hang out. They've been hanging out. Hanging out a lot. So Life Drawing. It's so good. Of course, they're all so good. Do they ever make anything bad? No. This is such a strange Jaime book. So it opens with our favorite, Angel of Tarzana, and it's really interesting. Like, so the first couple pages, it's Angel, and she's with a bunch of wrestlers, and they're trying to figure out how to get into this building for a wrestling event that they're supposed to be working. And Angel barely says a word. She looks grouchy the whole time. She's drawn with her arms crossed. She's frowning. She doesn't say much, and it's such a strange opening. And it makes you wonder, like, what's going on with Angel? What's got her so bent out of shape? And this is the part where, like, I want to jump back and show you things that happened with Angel and Tonta in the few years prior that came out, but we're just gonna keep going with this. So we have this opening with Angel. Things are weird, don't know why. And then it moves on to, we are at, so this is Violet Brunette, and she is an older half-sister of Tonta. And Tonta ends with the family finding out that their mother, Jaime leaves no doubt. The mother set up to have Al, the stepfather, murdered. And the younger kids, with the focus being on Tonta, you don't really see, she has a younger sister, Muñeca, it's so hard for me to say, that you don't really see too much. But Tonta, she is shuffled off to Violet's place. She is under Violet's legal care, and it's bad. The friends, they're watching a DVD recording of a show called Spouse Killers, and the episode is about the Black Widow, which is their mother. So she's at her half-sister's friends are watching this DVD about her mom being just a villain, and Tonta runs away. And you can tell that this is something that she does a lot. So she hops out the window, and she's trying to hitch a ride with a friend of Violet's, and he says to her, she's like, "Hey, Albert, heading back to LA?" And he goes, "Yes and no, I can't help you run away again." And she convinces him to give her a ride to Vivian's house, which is another half-sister. So he's like, "Okay, since I'm taking you to another family member's house, fine." So he brings Tonta to Vivian's house, and it turns out it's not Vivian. Tonta lied. And she was going to actually her friend Gomez's house, who is in the process of having like a comic book club meeting with a bunch of, well, a few of her friends. And it's just so sweet. Like, we go from this weird opening with Angel, doesn't say a word, she's upset about something, we don't know why, and then it goes straight to this other upsetting scene of just Tonta at Violet's house. It's not a healthy environment. She runs away, and now we're here in Gomez's bedroom, and we're just hanging out with other kids, and where they're having a little comic book club meeting, and it's just really sweet and precious, right? But as Tonta is climbing through the window, one of the girls turns to another friend and asks, "Here, isn't that the girl whose mom?" And it's like, Tonta, it just feels so bad for her. Like she's running away, trying to escape just the toxicity of having to deal with the fact that her mom's not the best person. Goes to her friend's house, and it's like still following her. You know, she can't escape it. She, and it's really interesting. Like, it makes me think about how, like, abuse cycles in families, and how, like, you like if you're in a bad relationship and the person's like, oh, well, this happened to me and that's why this is why I am the way I am. And for a while, I used to feel a lot of sympathy for people who said stuff like that. And then I just got to a point where I was like, I've been through a lot of things too in my childhood, and I never felt like that made it okay for me to be abusive back. And you see this with Tonta and her sisters because Vivian, I mean, she's the frog mouth, right? Vivian is awful, and Violet doesn't seem like she's so great either. And then we have poor little Tonta, and she's trying so hard. She wants to be good, but when you're surrounded, when you have like this viper pit of a family, it's hard. And so she runs away to Gomez's. She's trying to just have fun with friends, and it comes out as they're talking about like school and whatnot, and swim team comes up, and Angel was the swim team coach, but she's not anymore, which comes out here where one of the girls, she says, well, Coach Bick said, and then Tonta interrupts and says, Coach Bick, what happened to big bad Coach Rivera? And Gomez is like, she's on vacation, sort of. And then change the subject, like, so you want to draw comics with us? And then the meeting breaks up. They leave. Tonta stays, hangs out with Gomez, and she's like, what's going on with Miss Rivera? And it turns out that allegations came out against Angel for like regarding sexual misconduct with a student. And Tonta's just like, absolutely not. There's no way. She doesn't say that, but you can just, she's not happy about it. And she doesn't necessarily, it's more of like it can't be true. And it just, again, it goes, she's running away from home. Her family sucks. She goes to her friend's house. Her family's issues are, they follow her there. And now she finds out that this woman that she respects and looks up to now has these like sexual misconduct allegations against her regarding another student. And Tonta's just, I feel so bad for her. And it's so funny because she's not written in the most, like, Jaime doesn't try to sugarcoat. Tonta's, she's a teenager. She's kind of a jerk. She definitely has a cruel streak. But you see her fighting it. And I'm rooting so hard for her. And it's just so funny. Like, I love how, so Gomez tells Tonta about what's going on with Angel, and she wants to like go see her. And Gomez is like, no, we're not going to go do that. Are you crazy? And so she's like, all right, then take me to Hilly's house. And Hilly is the student that the accusations are revolving around. So they go and have it out with her, and Hilly's like, I'm not allowed to talk about any of this, but nothing happened. Like, this is, I'm not supposed to talk about it. And so after they leave, Gomez gets pulled over, and it turns out that there's a missing persons report out for Tonta. So Tonta goes with the police to go back to Violet's house since she's her legal guardian. And it's so funny, like, after they leave, Gomez is here, and she's like so relieved, like, oh, okay, I'm not going to jail. I get to go home. And then in this last panel here, she's like, Tonta sure makes my life exciting. And it's so funny because I just love how, like, Tonta is going to Gomez's because she wants to just feel a bit of normalcy. And the chaos of Tonta's life is what Gomez finds interesting. And I don't know, it reminds me of, like, remember in Edward Scissorhands when the Avon lady, when the mother, like, she first brings Edward down from his castle and into the suburbs. And it's this really fascinating scene where he's riding in the car and he's looking out the window and he's just in awe. And it's just so funny, like, how the mundane world of, like, cookie cutter suburban life can be, like, wondrous and amazing when you're coming from an environment that's so dark and lonely and frightening. And that's the feeling that I get with Tonta when she, you know, she's just running away and, like, going to Gomez's, and she wants to feel that awe of mundanity. I know how to spell it. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say it. But you know what I mean? It's really sweet in a kind of heartbreaking way. And then it goes on where, like, so Tonta goes with the police, Gomez goes home, and then we're back and we're at school, and it turns out that we learn that, so Gomez says, "Where are you living?" And Tonta says, "With my sister Vivi. The court said my sister Violet is no longer fit to be my guardian." And Gomez says, "And Vivian is? You said she dates killers, pervs, and mob bosses." And Tonta just slaps her hand over Gomez's mouth and she goes, "But enough about my life. How's your life? Are you still doing that geeky comic book club?" And again, it just same, you know, it just goes right back to Gomez just wants, she's just so, like, thrilled by the chaos of Tonta's life, and Tonta's like, can we, like, just talk about something nice? And yeah, it's gosh, we're only at page 14. Sorry, I just get kind of rambly. I just get so we have so much more, and I don't have a lot of time. Okay, you guys, I'm getting a new phone this weekend, and hopefully that will solve the problem of me running out of video time so quickly. I just hate those abrupt endings. They were, like, fun at first, I guess, in a weird cringe kind of way, but now it's just weird and cringe, and it's not fun at all. I hate the abrupt endings. So yeah, I'm getting a new phone this weekend, and these videos can go a little bit longer. I can go a little bit more in depth and not feel, like, subconsciously like, hurry, get it out, because there's no way I can talk about all of this in the way that I want to with the time that I have. Like, I'm watching the clock tick now, and I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna end soon. So I guess I'll go ahead and end this here. We'll call this part 1 of question mark. But it's interesting, like, one of my takeaways from this was, is this the end? I know it's not the end. It's not the end. I truly believe that the Hernandez brothers are going to they're not going to retire. They're going to stop making comics when they're dead. And it's because they love it. It's breathing to them. It's second nature. And when you consider how long they've been doing it, I mean, the series started in 1981. It's a part of who they are. So with that being said, I don't, like, truly think this is going to be the end, but it definitely made me wonder about, you know, because it's inevitable at some point it is going to happen. And this wouldn't be a bad end. a lot of things, because when you think about life, the end is the end only because it's the end. If we lived, like, the story could keep going if we lived, if we kept living. And with that being said, this could be the end. This could, you know, hypothetically speaking, theoretically speaking, this could be the end of the story. A lot of things get wrapped up. A lot of things get resolved. A lot of questions get answered. And we see the end for a lot of people in ways that, like I remember how my parents were telling me about this conversation they were having with each other when they were realizing that the people that they are, the people that we are right now, who we were before in the past, that person is dead. Who we were before is dead. The hair, the skin, the nails, everything about us is new, and what was back then, you know, it's not like we have the same body, you know, it's constantly shedding, dying, regenerating. And these stories, I don't really, sorry, I've kind of lost my train of thought. Like, I'm at work right now. I thought it would be good to do this and maybe try and let traffic die down, and people are walking by and it's distracting. But yeah, things being over, the end, resolution, closure, conclusions, it's all relative. And stories can keep going for as long as you want them to or not. And it's just, when you think about, I mean, when this story started, these people were teenagers, right? Teenagers in their early 20s. But over the course of the series, you know, we have a lot of moments of flashbacks where we see them when they were children, when they were toddlers, when they were still in diapers. And over the decades, seeing just this fully formed life. Yeah, this could be the end, because and I'm just speaking hypothetically, but it could keep going. Sorry, these people keep walking by and it's so distracting. God. Right at the end too, like I kind of want to just delete all this and start over. Maybe this is just my cue to finish. Man, there's just, I want to do more videos, but it's defining the time and the place, and it's hard. It's so hard. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this now, because I'm dying. I'm slowly dying. I don't like doing this with an audience. So I will resume later and we'll pick up again. And hopefully this will start becoming more of a consistent thing that I do more regularly. And yeah, hopefully this wasn't too messy. It feels very messy, but whatever. I enjoy doing it. I do this for me, so it doesn't matter. All right, well, I will see you guys later, and have a good one. And yeah, I would, if you can, get Is This How You See Me? Get a copy of this. And then once you're done with that, get Tonta. And then by the time you're finished with these two, this will be out and ready. And you can get this. And then you can tell me what you think about this being a hypothetical end. Okay.